I don't feel like we want to go and change culture, but we want to redeem it and heal it of those things that the enemy's tried to steal from them. Just having a charity won't help that. There's a need for people coming into the communities and transforming them from the inside out. The only way to change the kind of these strongholds of thousands of years of darkness, really, is to come into the midst of the community and bring the light.
Hi!
We're the Brown family.
And we're missionaries in Cambodia.
And this is Steve, this is Benj, this is Grace, this is Mom, and this is Abigail.
So we kind of went on this journey. We ended up going to Mozambique to Heidi Baker's school there. And when we were there is when we started getting just pictures of women and children sort of in the sex industry or in slum communities that were sort of crying out. And we really felt like that was where God was calling us to go. And it was sort of a process of laying down our careers and our lives, but we were just so glad and so excited to be able to go to these amazing people in Cambodia. I think I was just so shocked when I got to Cambodia because it was just so poor and there's so much need. I remember when you first arrive at the airport, you go through this mile-long street of just basically brothels. Just my heart broke. And so a mixture of heartbreak, but also excitement, knowing that God has got such a plan and a destiny for this incredible country. And we just fell in love with the people there.
When we lived in the south coast of Cambodia, we lived in a house that was kind of on the edge of a slum, and the family were in the bottom, and we had an apartment on the top. And they were a wonderful family, but the daughter had kind of grown up, run into trouble, and she was into drugs and alcohol, and was always kind of the prodigal daughter, and she would get thrown out and then she'd get taken back in, and she just experienced a lot of rejection in her heart and a lot of pain. But then she heard this voice. She was like, go and see Steve and Mollie. And it was 10 o'clock at night. And I'm literally, just by chance, I wasn't in the spirit or anything. I was like, I need to take the rubbish out, So I take the rubbish out, and she's at the bottom of the stairs in the back, crying her eyes out. So it's like, what's up? Come in. The Lord gave me a word of knowledge on how to share the gospel with her. And in the night, she has this kind of encounter with Jesus where she meets him, and something like he touches her, is that right? And she receives the Holy Spirit. Yeah. And she's completely overwhelmed by the presence of God. Yeah. And the next day she's telling us, and she's like, and I feel amazing. I feel better than any drug I've ever had. And I've got $2 in my pocket, but I don't care, I'm so happy. Yeah. And the story didn't end there, because her daughter saw how impacted the mum was, and she was like, can I have that as well? So you prayed with her, didn't you? Her daughter.
She almost let out this big yawn, and she looked at me, and she
twice,
looked like a different person, and her face was covered in this gold dust. It was so amazing, and literally she was like a different kid.
I believe that Cambodia is ripe for the harvest. People say that, but we've seen that. We've been out there and we've tested that. And I don't know whether it's the place is ready, or maybe because of the shaking that they've been through. Maybe they've realised that the things that they trusted in before aren't fully what can be their solid foundation and be a rock for them. And they're open to something that's real. So when you bring that, by carrying Jesus in you and praying for people and loving people, they're so responsive. Yeah. So I do believe that it's a time of great harvest, and there's a season, and the time is now. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that, and just praying that God will bring even more labourers to the harvest field. Someone has to go to tell this glorious message. Someone has to bring it, and we feel like we're ones who've been sent to help bring that.